Well, hello again. Well, there's a saying, isn't there, that there is a book in everyone. And during this series of films and articles, we'll be talking about how you can get your book published either online with people like Amazon Kindle or as a hard copy, or both, better still. And so the first thing to do is to home in on what your book is about, and only you know that. And when you've established that, who your audience is, it is most important that you have forefront of your mind who your audience is, who is going to be interested in reading your book. For instance, if it's a beginner, how to would be a really good start for your title. Now I'm going to take chickens just as an example, a subject matter. So the first thing is you could have how to keep chickens, how to look after chickens, how to start with chickens. So how to would be a very, very good way of introducing your title. And as this series goes on, we'll be talking more and more how to write your book so that your book will be found on the internet, how people will home in on it so they can buy it. It's as simple as that. So we could have keeping chickens, the myths. You could actually home in on people that tell lies about keeping chickens, maybe how difficult it is, what a nuisance they are, all that kind of thing. So you could actually dispel myths and have that as the title of your book. And how about those folk that think, well, it might be expensive to keep chickens, so you could have something like money-saving ways of keeping chickens, or chickens on a budget, that kind of title. Would that be the kind of audience you're trying to home in on? Or how about someone like me who would like to get underway very quickly? I wouldn't want to hang about. You could have how to build a chicken shed in only 3 hours. That would be a good one. In my case, it took me about 3 weeks, but that's just me. But you could do one on an easy and quick way of building a chicken house, couldn't you? And so for beginners again, you could have how to buy your first chicken, and that might include, let's say, the taking chickens from an ex-battery farm, and there's a whole host of things you can talk about there and write about. So that would be ideal for beginners. The beginner's guide to keeping chickens, that would be a good title. How about the green issue, organic chickens, or keeping chickens organically? That might be another angle. And also there would be the anecdotal sort of book. If you've already kept chickens and you've got friends and relatives and people you know that already keep chickens, how about one about the success stories of keeping chickens? That would make a fabulous chapter, wouldn't it? A chapter for each person or group of people that kept chickens. And you could write about their story, couldn't you? You could go and interview them and do that kind of thing. Now don't forget, I'm talking about chickens, but you could translate this to whatever your subject is. That's most important. So how about a checklist? You could have one as a working manual for chickens. And you could have that rather like a service manual for a car, where you can go through it and you could encourage your clients to actually make notes and to tick boxes and to do it as a much more sort of professional way. Which leads me on to, of course, that you could have an angle for the professional. If you know a great deal about keeping chickens, you've kept them for years and you know all about their habits more than most people, then you could write a book aimed at the professional, and the professional chicken keeper could be your audience there. And of course, a very obvious one in this particular case with this subject matter would be rare breeds. And that's something that my daughter does. We have 24 chickens, and we have a lot of them which are rare breeds and rare crossbreeds, and she specialises in that. So you can see this just within the subject of chickens, the angles that you can home in on are vast. And say during this series of films and articles, we'll be showing you the many ways that you can write specifically for an audience, specifically for the internet, and that is quite prescriptive. You need to know how to write so that the words and the subjects that people are looking for, they home in on your book, so your book will be the one that sells. and we shall also be looking now how easy it is to produce a hard copy. So your book can not only be on the internet, but we can produce it as a hard copy. So for more information on how to get your book onto the internet, watch this space.